Do you ever wish you could remain calm and unshaken, no matter what life throws at you? Imagine having a mindset so strong that no challenge, no pain, and no setback could disturb your inner peace. A state of being where external events lose their power over you, where you remain steady no matter the storm. Sounds impossible? It's not. As Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger." The same applies to all emotions. We suffer not because of what happens to us, but because of how we react. The key to freedom is mastering your mind, learning to detach, reframe, and take control of your thoughts. Today, we'll uncover 7 powerful lessons that will help you develop an untouchable mindset. One where nothing can break you, nothing can shake you, and nothing can steal your peace. By the end of this journey, you'll see life in an entirely new way. Lesson 1. Detachment is your superpower. One of the greatest sources of suffering is attachment to people, to material possessions, to outcomes, and even to our own expectations. We hold on too tightly, fearing loss, resisting change, and trying to control what is beyond our grasp. But life is constantly shifting. Nothing stays the same. Buddhism teaches us that true freedom comes from detachment, not in the sense of becoming cold or indifferent, but in releasing our need to control everything. Detachment allows you to experience life fully without being enslaved by it. It means you can love without clinging. You can pursue goals without being destroyed by failure. You can embrace change without fear. When you detach from rigid expectations, you open yourself to new possibilities. You reduce unnecessary stress and suffering. A practical way to cultivate detachment is through mindfulness. The next time you feel anxious or frustrated, pause. Step back. Observe your emotions without judgment. Ask yourself, am I holding on to something too tightly? By creating mental space between yourself and your attachments, you regain control over your thoughts. You allow peace to take root. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It's the recognition that nothing outside of you can define you or complete you. And when you embrace this mindset, you become emotionally independent, free from the constant fear of loss, free from disappointment. This is the foundation of an untouchable mind. Lesson 2. Reframe pain as growth. Pain is unavoidable, but suffering is a choice. What separates those who crumble under pressure from those who thrive is the ability to reframe pain, to see it as a teacher, not an enemy. Every challenge carries a lesson, whether it's learning patience, developing resilience, or gaining wisdom. Most people see pain as something negative, something to escape. But Buddhism teaches that pain is essential to our growth. Think of a seed. Before it becomes a tree, it must break open in the darkness of the soil. It must face pressure. It must struggle. And so must we. Instead of resisting pain, ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? By shifting your perspective, you transform obstacles into stepping stones. A practical way to reframe pain is through journaling. When facing difficulties, write down what you're feeling. Then, challenge yourself to find at least one positive takeaway. Over time, this practice rewires your mind. You stop fearing pain. You start welcoming challenges as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more unshakable. Because the truth is, growth never happens in comfort. Lesson 3. Control your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself shapes your reality. If your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, criticism, and negativity, you will feel weak, vulnerable, easily hurt by the outside world. But if you take control of your internal narrative, if you replace negative self-talk with words of strength, you create an unshakable foundation. Your thoughts have power. They shape your emotions. They influence your actions. They determine your destiny. When you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," you reinforce a mindset of weakness. But when you choose thoughts like, "I am strong," or "I have the power to remain calm in any situation," you train your mind to become resilient. A powerful way to reshape your inner dialogue is through mindfulness meditation. Spend just a few minutes each day in stillness, observing your thoughts. When negative thoughts appear, don't push them away. Acknowledge them. Then consciously replace them with empowering statements. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you train it to focus on positive, constructive thoughts, the stronger it becomes. And over time, negativity loses its grip on you. Lesson 4. Embrace the Stoic principle of amor fati. In ancient philosophy, the Stoics taught a powerful mindset called amor fati, the love of fate. This philosophy teaches us to fully accept everything that happens in our lives, whether good or bad, as necessary parts of our journey. Instead of resisting challenges or dwelling on regrets, amor fati teaches us to embrace every experience with open arms. It is not just about tolerating what happens. It is about loving it. Why? Because everything contributes to your growth. Life is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens for you. Every setback, every disappointment, every hardship carries a hidden lesson. When we resist life's events, we suffer. We create frustration, anxiety, and resentment. But when we embrace life's unpredictability, we free ourselves. We move with the natural flow of existence rather than against it. Think about the most successful, resilient people in the world. They did not reach their strength by having an easy life. They encountered obstacles, they failed, they struggled. But they chose to see these challenges as stepping stones rather than burdens. They embodied the spirit of amor fati, turning misfortune into strength. You can do the same. A simple way to practice amor fati in your daily life is to reframe your language. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "How is this happening for me?" This small shift changes everything. It helps you see difficulties not as obstacles, but as opportunities to become wiser, stronger, and more unshakable. You don't have to fear challenges anymore. You can welcome them, because once you embrace this mindset, nothing can truly hurt you. Lesson 5. Mastering emotional detachment. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions. They get angry when someone insults them. They feel anxious when things don't go as planned. They become discouraged when they face setbacks. But an untouchable mind does not react impulsively. It observes emotions rather than being controlled by them. Emotional detachment is not about suppressing feelings. It is about creating space between your emotions and your reactions. Think of your emotions like waves in the ocean. Most people let themselves get tossed around by the waves, drowning in frustration, anger, or sadness. But what if, instead of being thrown around, you learned to stand in the water and watch the waves rise and fall? This is the practice of detachment. When an emotion arises, whether it is anger, jealousy, or sadness, pause, acknowledge it, observe it, but do not become it. Say to yourself, "I am feeling anger, but I am not anger itself. I am experiencing disappointment, but this feeling is temporary." By practicing this, you train yourself to respond rather than react. And when you no longer allow your emotions to dictate your actions, you gain the ultimate freedom, the power to control your own mind. Lesson 6. The strength of silence. In a world that values constant noise, opinions, arguments, and distractions, the ability to remain silent is a superpower. Silence gives you clarity. It allows you to process your thoughts before speaking. It protects your energy from unnecessary conflict. Most people feel the need to defend themselves when criticized, but true strength is found in not reacting. When someone insults you, you do not need to argue. When someone tries to provoke you, you do not need to engage. Silence is not weakness. It is a form of mastery. Buddha once said, "Do not speak unless it improves upon the silence." The next time you feel the urge to argue, defend, or react emotionally, pause. Ask yourself, will responding add value to this situation? If not, walk away. Let go. Preserve your peace. Because the less you engage in unnecessary conflict, the stronger your mind becomes. And over time, you realize not everything requires a response. Lesson 7. The power of not taking things personally. One of the most powerful lessons in Buddhism is understanding that nothing is truly personal. When someone criticizes you, it is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their thoughts, emotions, and inner struggles. Most people take things personally because they attach their self-worth to external validation. But an untouchable mind does not seek approval from others. It does not allow the words or actions of others to dictate its peace. The next time someone is rude to you, instead of reacting with anger, ask yourself, is this really about me, or is it about them? 99% of the time, it is about them. People project their own fears, insecurities, and frustrations onto others. When you understand this, you stop taking things personally. You realize that no one can truly hurt you unless you allow them to. You become immune to negativity, criticism, and external judgment, because you know your peace is yours alone. Developing an unshakable presence. When you combine these lessons, detachment, silence, emotional control, and non-reactivity, you develop something rare, an unshakable presence. People will notice that you do not react impulsively. They will sense the depth of your inner strength. They will respect your ability to remain calm in any situation. And most importantly, you will feel a peace that cannot be disturbed. This is the power of mastering your mind. It does not happen overnight. It is a practice, a path, a way of living. But each day you have the opportunity to strengthen your mind, to detach from what does not serve you, to remain still in the face of chaos, to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion. And when you do, nothing will have power over you, not people, not circumstances, not even your own fears. You will move through life with a quiet confidence, a deep inner calm, an untouchable mindset, and that is true power. The strength in remaining unmoved. There is a rare kind of person who moves through life with effortless calm. They are not easily angered. They do not crumble under pressure. They do not let the opinions of others shake them. They are not emotionless, but they are emotionally untouchable. And this strength does not come from controlling the outside world. It comes from mastering the inner world. When you develop this mindset, you become someone who walks through chaos without being consumed by it, listens to insults without feeling attacked, faces difficulties without falling into despair. You do not need to seek revenge. You do not need to explain yourself to those who misunderstand you. You do not need external validation to feel at peace, because your foundation is within. Your peace is your own. Lesson 8. The art of observing without absorbing. Most people absorb everything around them, the energy, the negativity, the emotions of others. They hear bad news and instantly feel fear. They see someone in a bad mood and take on that mood themselves. They listen to criticism and let it define them. But you do not have to absorb everything you experience. You can observe without taking it in. Imagine yourself as a mountain. Winds blow, storms rage, rain falls, but the mountain does not move. The same is true for your mind. When negativity surrounds you, simply watch it. Do not absorb it. Do not internalize it. Let it pass like a cloud in the sky. A simple way to practice this is through detached awareness. When someone says something hurtful, instead of reacting, silently tell yourself, "This is their perspective, not my reality." When a stressful situation arises, remind yourself, "This is temporary. I will not allow it to take my peace." By doing this, you create space between you and the external world. You remain steady, no matter what happens around you. Lesson 9. Stop explaining yourself. Many people spend their lives trying to explain, justify, or prove themselves to others. But an untouchable mind knows not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will see your perspective. Not everyone needs to. When you feel the urge to explain yourself, ask, "Is this worth my energy?" If someone misunderstands you, let them. If someone disagrees with you, that is their right. You do not need to convince people to see things your way. Your energy is precious. Protect it. Lesson 10. Let people be wrong about you. One of the greatest freedoms you will ever experience is the ability to let people misunderstand you without feeling the need to correct them. Most people waste so much energy trying to change how others perceive them, but the truth is, people will believe what they want to believe. Even if you explain yourself, they may still choose their version of the truth. So why waste your peace trying to change minds that do not want to be changed? Instead, let people be wrong about you. It does not take away from who you truly are. And those who truly know you, those who deserve to know you, will see your truth without needing an explanation. Lesson 11. The freedom of non-reaction. Imagine someone insults you. Your instinct might be to defend yourself, to argue, to prove them wrong. But what if you did nothing? What if you simply let the words pass through you like wind through an open window? This is the power of non-reaction. Most people believe that reacting makes them strong, but true strength is found in the ability to remain still, to know that words do not define you, to know that external events do not control you. The next time someone tries to provoke you, try this. Pause. Take a slow breath. Do nothing. Watch how the situation changes. Most of the time, negativity fades when it is not fed, and in that moment, you will realize you are no longer controlled by outside forces. You are in control of yourself, and that is the greatest power of all, the power of letting go. Most of the pain we experience does not come from what happens to us. It comes from our resistance to what happens. We hold on to old arguments. We replay past mistakes in our minds. We cling to expectations of how things should be. But an untouchable mind knows that peace is not found in clinging. Peace is found in letting go. Lesson 12. Release the need to control. We spend so much of our lives trying to control things that are beyond our power. We try to control how people see us. We try to control outcomes that are uncertain. We try to control the emotions of others. But control is an illusion. No matter how much effort you put in, life will always unfold in its own way. And the more you resist, the more you suffer. True freedom comes when you surrender. Not in the sense of giving up, but in the sense of trusting. Trusting that whatever happens, you will be able to handle it. The next time you feel stressed about something beyond your control, remind yourself, I release this. I do not need to carry it. Breathe deeply, let go, move forward, because life is lighter when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Lesson 13. Forgive, but not for others, for yourself. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. People think that to forgive means to excuse, to forget, or to accept what was done. But forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about you. When you hold on to resentment, you keep yourself chained to the past. You let the pain replay over and over in your mind, giving it power long after the moment has passed. But when you forgive, you set yourself free. This doesn't mean you condone what happened. It simply means you refuse to let it poison your mind any longer. A simple practice. If someone has hurt you, instead of holding on to anger, say to yourself, I release this burden. I will not let it weigh me down any longer. Then move forward, not for them, but for you. Lesson 14. See everything as a lesson. An untouchable mind views everything, the good and the bad, as a teacher. Every difficult person is a lesson in patience. Every setback is a lesson in resilience. Every painful moment is a lesson in strength. Nothing is wasted. Everything you experience is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. So when challenges arise, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, ask, what is this here to teach me? With this mindset, nothing can break you, because you choose to turn everything into growth. And when you do, you no longer fear hardship. You welcome it, because you know it is making you stronger. The strength in not reacting. There is an old Zen saying, when the wind blows, the tree does not fight it. It moves with it, bends with it, and remains standing when the storm has passed. Most people, when faced with difficulties, react immediately. Someone insults them, and they argue back. Something goes wrong, and they panic. A plan changes, and they get frustrated. But an untouchable mind knows reaction is a choice, and the strongest person in the room is often the one who stays silent. Lesson 15. Do not engage in meaningless battles. Not every argument needs a response. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every situation requires your energy. Most people waste their strength fighting battles that do not matter. But a wise person knows when to walk away. When someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself, will responding improve this situation? If not, let it go. You do not need to prove yourself to anyone. You do not need to lower yourself to their level. Let people talk. Let them misunderstand you. Your peace is more valuable than their opinions. Lesson 16. The power of pausing. In the heat of the moment, emotions rise, anger, frustration, anxiety. But before you react, pause. Take a deep breath. Give yourself a moment to step back and see the bigger picture. This simple habit, pausing before reacting, can save you from saying things you regret, making impulsive decisions, or feeding unnecessary negativity. A moment of stillness can change everything, and the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you will notice that things that once triggered you no longer affect you, because you have mastered the art of the pause. Lesson 17. Become the eye of the storm. Life will never be free of chaos. There will always be stress, uncertainty, and difficult people, but you do not have to be part of the chaos. You can be the eye of the storm, calm, still, unaffected by the winds around you. When others panic, you remain steady. When drama unfolds, you do not get involved. When things go wrong, you adapt and move forward. Your presence becomes unshakable, and soon people will begin to notice. They will wonder why you do not react like they do. They will admire your ability to stay calm in any situation. They will be drawn to your peace, because true strength is not loud, it is silent, steady, and undeniable. And when you embody this, nothing, not insults, not setbacks, not even your own fears, can shake you. The final step, mastering the mind for ultimate freedom. An untouchable mind is not something you are born with. It is something you build. Each day, with each challenge, you have the opportunity to strengthen your mindset, to pause instead of react, to observe instead of absorb, to let go instead of cling. This is not about being emotionless. It is about choosing your emotions, choosing peace over anger, choosing calm over chaos, choosing wisdom over impulse. Because the truth is, nothing outside of you has power over you unless you give it permission, and once you realize this, you reclaim control over your life. Lesson 18. Detach from the outcome. Most people suffer because they are attached to results. They set expectations for how things should be. They believe happiness depends on achieving certain goals. They tie their self-worth to success, approval, and recognition. But attachment creates suffering. Buddhism teaches us to detach from the outcome, not to stop caring, but to stop clinging. When you take action, do your best, and release the need to control the results, you become free. You enjoy the process rather than obsessing over the end result. And when things do not go as planned, you adapt, you learn, you move forward without frustration, because you understand nothing is truly lost. Every moment, every experience, even every failure is a step on the path, and the less you attach, the lighter you become. Lesson 19. Trust the flow of life. The mind is always trying to predict, analyze, and control, but life is unpredictable. It moves in cycles, in seasons, in ways we cannot always understand. An untouchable mind does not resist this truth. It embraces it. When change comes, you do not fight it. You adapt. When obstacles arise, you do not panic. You adjust. When things do not go as planned, you do not break. You bend. You trust that everything, even the challenges, is unfolding as it should. You trust that each moment, no matter how difficult, is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. And in that trust, you find freedom. Because life is not something to control, it is something to flow with. The unshakable presence, becoming the master of yourself. By now you understand, an untouchable mind is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about meeting them with strength, stillness, and clarity. It is about walking through life with a quiet confidence, no longer seeking validation, no longer reacting to every little thing, no longer being controlled by emotions, fears, or external forces. It is about being the eye of the storm, so still, so steady, so unshaken. This is the highest form of strength, and once you cultivate this within yourself, nothing can hurt you, because you are no longer ruled by the outside world. You are the master of your mind, and that is true power.